Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first AR or if you've been building them for years. There is something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level.
Was that Optimus Prime?
Close. My name is Nick Dooley, and I am joined tonight by the AR-15 podcast own director of propaganda, Joe.
Howdy.
And tonight, if you don't know who that voice is, you probably haven't done much in the YouTube sphere, but we have Jon Patton from the Gun Collective with us.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, we are doing just wonderful.
Dude, that intro, that is the most gravelly I've ever heard you talk. It was so good. Like, this time, I will be returning from the depths within.
In a world where one man can stand alone,
we have to find the Allspark.
Yes, it's one of the only talents I have, so I have to leverage it when I can.
Right, of course. Why wouldn't you?
So Jon is with us because tickets are on sale now to a very special event, and that event is GUNCON. I'll be honest, before we let Jon start talking, it is arguably my favorite event that I've been going to the last couple of years. Like I've done SHOT Show, I've done Rocky Mountain Range Day. I missed goals last year because of Army things. But GUNCON, I've hit all the bunch of these, and GUNCON has become my favorite event. It's where we get to see all of our creator friends that we hang out with. But more importantly, we get to see you guys, the listeners, and like the fans and the watchers, the viewers, and hang out with you guys as well. And that is a very special time to me.
I think it's awesome, man. You know, I really enjoy the fact that we can pull together so many people from different parts of what makes the gun community special. You know, like having the opportunity to, of course, see the new brand or see the brands, see all their new products and see all these content creators. And then, of course, get to hang out with the people that make all of this work,
Yes.
and engage with them and build the damn gun community stronger. How many events are doing that these days? None.
Almost not none, because there's one.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
And there can be only one.
There can be only one GUNCON officially. Yeah, man, it's pretty cool. I'm really excited about this year. We've moved to Ohio. This is our first year in Cleveland, and that's exciting in and of itself to be in a new area, trying new stuff, seeing new faces, because it won't just be the same people that we've seen in Iowa. And there's going to be some new brands. I just got told this week that we're going to have multiple brands launching brand new products at the event. And that's pretty exciting. That's cool.
That is awesome. I know that like last year, Stuff and Things came and they brought, their Bison or Stison kit. Like we got to see that and get hands-on with it there. I've seen prototypes being displayed at Range Day and even on the floor of GUNCON every time I've showed up. And that is just like super rad because so Gideon Optics, they will bring like 7 things that are in the works and be like, what do you guys think of this?
Right.
And it's like, wow, this is amazing.
And they actually want to know. They actually care, because the brands that are invested in GUNCON are there to see everyone else. They want that feedback. They want to build that relationship with the consumer. And that's amazing, honestly, because you go to SHOT or some of these other big events, and that's just not the vibe. It's very corporate. It's very stuck up, and GUNCON is the polar opposite of that shit.
It's the antithesis of that.
Right. Can I curse on this show, by the way? I just cursed.
You sure can.
Okay. I realized it afterwards.
It works two ways. Like you said, it gets that connection between the users, the people in the community with the manufacturers, but it also gives people like Dooley a chance to touch something and see if he can break it in the 30 seconds he holds it. Because
that's true.
that's how you get your feedback rather than pushing it to market. Like, hey, we had 4 guys do this and none of them could figure out how to turn it on, or, like it's like this part of it's clumsy, just handing it to the layman's that, I work in software engineering, and that's the thing, is like, we can have all this project management, but we won't know if it works or not until we roll it out to the users if they don't test it correctly. And
Right.
that's what they're getting here, is a different, not just R&D testers and stuff like that. It's you're just random guys off the street looking at it and being like, well, if it did this, or can it do, just asking, can it do this or something like that? And they're like, no, because we had never thought of it. So it gives them that sounding board, which,
having somebody out of the industry who doesn't like live, breathe, and bask in it every day looks at something different. And it's the simplest thing in the world after they say it, because it's, well, why doesn't it go this way? And you go, oh, why doesn't it go that way?
That's one of my favorite things about seeing all these brands interacting is, it's not like a bunch of sales guys that show up. We thankfully have a lot of owners and executives and things like that come out to GunCon to build those relationships. And because of that, you're not being filtered through 80 levels of people. You're talking directly to the people that make decisions, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's those people you can directly talk to, the guys that are actually truly invested in, if this fails, we fail. If it's the salesman doesn't care if it makes it or not, he's going to go find another sales job. But these are the guys that have their life, their child's futures invested in this. So they want to make sure it doesn't just flop or, end up with some sort of crazy lawsuit because they didn't test it properly. And it's a grenade in your hand.
Right.
Yeah. And so like Gideon Optics just commented, GunCon attendees are way more hype than the crowd anywhere else we go.
That's incredible. I mean, Gideon has been a supporter for a long time, and they are actively out there engaging with people that buy their products, asking for feedback and showcasing the new stuff. And they, as you can tell, care. They actually care. And what's really cool is they're not the only brand that has told me something like that. Someone that is a longtime industry vet came up to me last year as we were packing up and said, "What's going on here?" And I was like, "Is everything okay?" Kind of caught me off guard. And the comment he made to me was that the people at GunCon are far more educated and engaged than just about every other event out there. And that makes me really happy. The people that come are actual enthusiasts, and they actively want to be a part of what we're building. And that's pretty cool. And I would love to see more people there, especially now that we've got a new space. It's a bigger space. And yeah, it's really exciting for me.
Yeah.
I think a part of that is like, I'm new with the podcast. I've known Nick forever, but I've never gone to SHOT Show, and it doesn't sound like something I would ever want to do because of the amount of people. And, the smaller group, the smaller events, you get so many people go to SHOT Show because they think it's like the greatest thing in the world. And
Sure.
It's anybody that can get to Vegas and go there. Whereas your smaller events, it's more like you said, the owners and the people that want to know and want to touch and feel, and not just going for the glam of it. And
well,
that's what I'm looking forward to, is talking to other people, seeing the new stuff, instead of just walking through a stadium of just booths that take you an hour to get to the front of if you really want to talk to somebody.
I'll say this, like, SHOT Show is one of those things that people should go to once, like, to experience it, because it is a wild experience to go to and see. Like, the first time you go, you walk in and you're like, oh my God, because it's overwhelming. And the first year you're running like you barely know what to do with yourself. Actually, I think my second year there was the first time I met John in person, and I still have the patch he gave me.
What did I give you?
Actually, you gave me two things, and one of them might be this is not scripted or planned. Because
I don't know anything about that. I don't even know what I gave him.
You gave me
anything that needed an antibiotic, right?
No,
yeah, that too.
No, he gave me a patch that was the old TGC molecule like hex patch.
Oh yeah.
And a keychain that it says Guntrepreneur on it.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, we used to do those. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one somewhere in my desk.
That's awesome.
I just saw it the other day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, John gave me that. I should like." I remember that, and as randomly met you like wearing a plaid button-down shirt in the basement in the dungeon, like trying to look at new stuff.
Yeah, but, just trying to do the thing, the SHOT Show thing.
As everybody's like, "Oh man, what's going on?" and trying to figure it out. My main complaint with SHOT Show has already kind of been talked about, and that is, John, we do have one. Someone here, Mark Brown from Facebook, says that he named his kid after you.
I fucking doubt it. I doubt it. Thank you. That's cute. Also, I doubt it. He did say GunCon is on his bucket list, which is kind of wild. I had one of my YouTube subscribers told me today that he and his wife were coming to GunCon for their anniversary, and all I could think was, your wife is a wonderful person,
very understanding woman.
Like that's so interesting. And it's not the first time that happens every year.
But what we were just talking about, like it not just being salesmen.
Mm-hmm.
So I got thrown out of a booth at SHOT Show once.
Oh my God, how?
By asking questions
and one of those brands,
and being a gun nerd. And they were an optics company that had like a ship's steering wheel on the side for a parallax adjustment.
I've seen those.
And they were British. Mm-hmm. And I looked at them and I go, "Hey, so is this a first or second focal plane optic?" And the guy looks at me and goes, "What does that matter?" I said, "Well,"
okay, we're done here.
So then I started talking to him. And he's like, "Oh, there's no difference. They don't do that." I was like, "No, they do." And then like he called.
Well, actually,
yeah, it's well, actually,
yeah.
But it was one of those you just go, "Oh no, I don't want anything to do with this brand or these people ever again."
I was at the Great American Outdoor Show this year, and I saw a brand there that said their scope was both dual and it was first and second focal plane.
That's a neat trick.
Yeah, I said that's not a thing. That's not a thing. It was like a $4,000 scope too.
Yeah.
And the numbers, so there was like a Christmas tree reticle in one of them, and the numbers were bigger than the hash marks.
Oh, yes, even better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was interesting. Bold choice.
Yeah, it's a bold strategy, Cut. Let's see how that works out for him. But no, it's so when you talk to those people at some of these events, they're guys that are paid to be there. They're paid salesmen. Thankfully, the booth bunny trend is slowing down. So
right.
You don't have girls that you talk to and it's like, "Hey, tell me about this." Because that actually used to infuriate my wife. She would walk up and ask a question to the girl in the booth, and they'd be like, "I don't know, I just hold these."
Right.
And you've met my wife, and she was like, "Why don't you know this? You're making women look bad."
It's true. It's true.
And
one of the things that I think is really important for people to know is that you hear GunCon, and I think a lot of people still don't quite know what it is, which is part of growing an event, educating all these people. I've had a lot of people this year, especially wondering, like, is it going to be like a gun show? And the simple answer is absolutely not. I think that's really important. People will be able to sell things. We cannot sell guns or ammunition. That's not allowed by the venue, which is fine. However, I have actively turned away brands that don't fit. Like the companies that make holsters on the spot. No, we're not doing that. We are focused on making sure that we're not just becoming another gun show. Like that shit sucks. Not only that, but I don't want people getting flagged and all that dangerous shit that when people unholster loaded guns inside. No, we're not doing that. No, thank you.
No, I agree. And so since we've mentioned about what GunCon isn't and kind of talked about what it is, where did GunCon come from?
So
Because
GunCon
it sounds a lot like Comic-Con.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was kind of part of the idea. So GunCon started many years ago now. I don't know exactly how many years ago. I don't remember when the first one was, but it wasn't GunCon. It wasn't called that. It wasn't even called the TGC panel the first year, but it eventually became what was the TGC panel, where we put top YouTube creators on a stage in a building near NRA annual meeting. We would jump around to whatever city that event was in, because it was a consumer event, and put up our own show, right? And brands would come and support, and it was awesome. And we got to a point where Brownells was the title sponsor for a lot of years. And then somewhere in COVID time, it was like, I think it was after the location in Houston, the gun store that we were at, pulled the rug out from under us and said, we're not having the event here, because I think Jerry Michalik canceled or something during or Lena or something. It canceled that they were like banking on. And I was like, hey, it's COVID. People don't want to travel. I get it. We're still going to go. And they were like, no, we're done. The whole thing. So, and that's not a slight against Lena, Jerry, anybody. It's more a slight against that gun store, because what the hell. Anyway, after that kind of debacle and having to cancel the event, I said, it would be really cool to do it somewhere else and maybe turn it into something bigger. Maybe this is the sign to turn it into something bigger. And Brownell said, why don't you do it here in their facility in Iowa? So we did. And that became GunCon. We turned it into something more. It was a range day for media and the big show day. And it has grown every year in a lot of different ways. And it's continuing to grow this year. It's wild, man. Like this was never something I planned on doing. The first time I did the panel idea was only because I looked around and went, well, this gaming stuff, these guys are doing these we could do this. We could probably do this. So I asked some YouTube friends, and I think the first one we had Military Arms Channel, 22 Plinkster, Zeke was there, Sean Heron was there, Whitey from Four Guys Guns. I think Ebbs from House of Arms might have been on that one. I can't remember exactly, and I may be missing somebody, but that's where it all started. And here we are, I don't know, 10 years later, whatever it is, and we're now doing GunCon year 4, which is wild.
Yeah, and it's been a great kind of trip to be a part of. I know that I missed the first one because Joe and I were on a border mission doing other things, and
touching wieners. That's what you were doing.
Well, not all the time, but no. So we came back, and it was definitely like, yep, we're hitting this. I'm hitting this, and GunCon was like the number one thing that we're gonna go to that, and we came down, and that was like, it was that's when I was like, this event is different. It feels different.
That's
and
good.
Then we sat there, all the panels and everything, and talking to all of our friends, because I'm friends with the We Like Shooting guys. I'm friends with, and being in the space for a while now, I've made a lot of other friends, like I know Zeke and Lefty and all those guys, and getting to know all the different, podcast and YouTube personalities, and, seeing guys like Tactical Toolbox and hanging out with, those people. Hey, we get to sit around, swap stories, things like that, have a little bit of fellowship. And then the next day go through and interact with, all the fans and the people who are consumers of our product. And that helps you put kind of a gauge on if you're doing it right or not.
You know, I really enjoy that part where like my job, in my mind at least, is not only to make the thing happen, but also to set the tone. And what you're just talking about like the sort of relaxed nature and the fellowship vibe, that is my 100% goal, which is why I walk around cursing at everybody, laughing, making fun of myself and other people at the same time, just breaking balls, because that's how we all treat each other. That's what we do as friends. And to incorporate our fans into, you know, what we already do and make that like circle a lot bigger for that weekend, that's so cool. You know, creating that vibe where it's more like a neighborhood barbecue, that's where the future of this industry is.
Yeah, like we straight up met a guy who became a sponsor at GunCon last year.
Seriously? Who was it?
Clucker Tactical, Clucker Holsters.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like he came up and then he started talking with us, became a sponsor, and then he started doing his own social media thing and growing his channel after talking with us. And that was a chance meeting in the parking lot of Brownells. We were sitting there drinking beer, talking about holsters.
Right.
And like that's how relationships are built. So I can 100% say like, yeah, that is something we did where we've built friendships and like got sponsorships and things from attending this show. And he wasn't there as media at the time or anything like that. It was straight up like, hey man, I signed up to come to like he bought a ticket and showed up.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's coming as media this year.
Yeah, like he's put a lot of work into growing his brand, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, agreed.
And
yeah, having those opportunities. Yeah, I mean, that's not the first time I've heard that story. You know, that's not the first time I've heard, you know, I met so and so at GunCon and we were able to build something together. I mean, hell yeah. I mean, this is quite literally how I built my damn career. This idea of fellowship. I could point to you and say, like, these guys over here are the ones, like Military Arms Channel, Iraq Veteran, 8888, Plinkster, those guys that I mentioned that were involved early on are the reason that TGC grew to a point where I can do stuff like this. And if I don't sort of pay it forward and offer those opportunities and fellowship, then what the hell are we even doing? What are we doing? Right?
Exactly. And this isn't one to just like fluff up on you, but like I remember when some guy who had a Chaos Clarity channel on YouTube was talking about shotguns. And like it's like, hey, I'm gonna try this other thing. You're gonna find my content over here. And like I think I was one of the first 1,000 subscribers to TGC.
Yeah. It was super early.
I
remember you telling me that.
The stance I took coming on with Nick and Garth was Nick's got this technical knowledge of all weird things. Like he goes down rabbit holes and then can spit it all back out. Garth's the exact opposite. He's like, I just want to spend money and trade guns and see what they shoot like. And I've followed up on at the end of a lot of our podcasts with share the social media, get out there to build. I mean, we fight the other side so much already when it comes to being able to get our content anywhere, that if we have that tight-knit group and we're supporting each other, it helps everybody to build. You know, if you win, we win. And if we're winning, then Klecker's winning and everybody else. It snowballs off of itself. And at some point, somebody's going to have to recognize, let this community back into the mainstream without censoring everything we do, because there is a following for it. And it's not the scary thing that certain people make it out to be.
I agree. I think we should probably talk about the Q&A panels before we run short on time tonight, because that's a pretty big part of the event.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Nick. Sorry, I keep talking.
I was going to say, no, yes, it is. And I was going to start moving into that because it's like, yeah, we've been having just the fun conversation about it, talking about how awesome it is. Let's talk about what it is with the Q, because we know there's a range day for media,
right?
We know there's the show, like the show aspect of it. where we have vendors there. And I say vendors as in we have companies there to show their wares to the consumer.
Right.
Not as much like gun show, but like CES show more. But
Sure.
then you also have the panels, which I think are an underappreciated part.
Really looking forward to those.
That's good.
That part I just want to sit down and listen to other people, because I fall kind of in the middle of Garth and Nick, where I like technical stuff. I like to learn that, but I also like to play with stuff. I like listening to different things and being able to, like, hey, take notes, pick stuff up, and then go home and research it myself. And I'm really looking forward to that day of panels.
That's good, man. So for people listening, Gideon Optic says, I'll let you buy stuff if you want, not the Focus though. What is the Focus? Does he own a Focus? Like a
I think
Ford
he's
Focus?
saying that's not the focus of why they're there.
I'm an idiot. Don't worry about me. I'm dumb. I thought he was saying you can't buy my Ford Focus, and I was like,
I hope he shows up with a Ford Focus and tries to sell it to you.
Bob, if you don't
have
show
your
up,
vision. Drive a Focus to Ohio. I dare you. So,
or just Turo one for the day.
Yeah. So the panels are pretty damn cool. That's a big part of what the event, like where it came from and what the event is all about. So while the show is going on, we will have live Q&A panels on stage for anybody there to interact with, participate in. The first one of the day is the 2A panel, and that's going to have Jared from Guns and Gadgets, Anthony from Arms Scholar, and Paul from Legally Armed America representing the 2A content creators. Then we also have Adam Kraut from Second Amendment Foundation, Travis White, who is the head of Firearms Regulatory Accountability Coalition. We have Eric Pratt from GOA, which is incredible as well. And then we had John Comerford, who is the EVP of NRA ILA. And they're all going to be on one panel talking about Second Amendment issues. The audience is welcome to come up and ask whatever questions they want to participate in that. I mean, it's the direction, I get asked this all the time. What are the questions going to be? Well, it's whatever the audience wants to know about, whatever's hot that day and what's on people's minds. That's what's going to get talked about. So then a little bit later in the day, we have the Next Gen Creator panel, which is full of folks that are sort of up and coming. I'm going to pull out my list of who all's on which panel, because I always get mixed
While you're
up.
doing that, I'm going to say Eric Pratt is probably one of the coolest, like, national level execs I've ever met. Like, I literally sat down and talked to him about, like, French art and shitty French machine guns for an hour with Jeremy Posderick, which I think was mildly terrifying to him.
Just two ogres next to him. And Eric's not tiny.
No,
he's not a tiny guy. But
yes,
that's part of that sort of interaction. That's what I love. Okay, so Next Gen panel, we've got Luke Cuenco, who is a writer and video guy for Firearm Blog, the Firearm Blog, which is pretty cool. We've got Tactical Considerations, Amber G. Johnson. She's new this year. That's going to be cool. Got some female representation. We got Johnny B. We got Gamage and Tactical Advisor. That's our Next Gen panel. So really wide variety of what the next generation of content creation in the gun industry looks like. And that's pretty exciting to kind of get their perspective on a lot of things. Then the next thing after that during the day is something brand new to GunCon. This is new for this year. We're doing a fireside chat with the Attorney General of Missouri, Andrew Bailey. So Andrew Bailey is really interesting because he is actively fighting for us, folks like us, the regular people, against big tech, fighting back against censorship. So he's sued the Biden administration, and he's suing big tech, and he's pushing back, and he's very focused on that. He's also very pro-gun, which is great. He sued China and won, like, I don't know how many $1 billion, some crazy amount of money. And this dude is on our side, and I think it'd be really interesting to hear what he has to say from the big-time representation of a state that's actively trying to win back freedom. That's going to be cool. And then we cap off the day with the Elite panel, which this year is going to be awesome as per usual. I'm on there, which is fun. I'm gonna MC all the panels, so just expect me to be on stage all day. Then we've got Mr. Guns and Gear. We've got Ashley Lebinsky, who is a firearms historian and has been a part of this realm forever. Was a big part of the Cody Firearms Museum sort of revamping, which is awesome. Tactical Toolbox is on there. Sean Heron is on there. Kevin Dixie is on there, and VSO Gun Channel, who is an Ohio guy.
Curtis is a good dude.
I love Curtis. Curtis has been a longtime friend. Very, very good dude. And I think one of the most fun parts of all that is we're not cherry picking from any one spot. It's not like only the guys that are gigantic are on stage. It's not like only the, Grantham wannabes are on stage. It's not like that. We've got a little bit of everything. And that's really exciting. And then after all the panels, we're going to do giveaways. I have changed the way giveaways work this year. But last year we gave away, I want to say like $40,000 or $50,000 worth of stuff. Just all kinds of gun parts, guns, suppressors, ammo, you name it. We gave it away last year. And this year I'm making all the brands do it individually, but I'm still going to come around and do the call outs and all that sort of stuff of who won what. So not only do you get to see all the new stuff, all the brands, get to build relationships, you get to meet the creators you like, you get to build the relationships with them, you get to see the panels, you get to participate in those, and your ticket also includes lunch for the day and a limited edition GunCon t-shirt. That's all. The ticket is $50. I mean, lunch and a t-shirt is already $50 these days. So that's pretty cool that we can offer all of that for $50. And you'll have a chance at winning who knows what in terms of giveaways. I can't think of a more jam-packed, well-rounded event. I can't.
It is amazing, and I am super stoked to be coming again this year and to be able to be a part of it, because it's just awesome where we get to come and hang out and do everything beforehand. I know two of us are super looking forward to that whole Sporting Clays thing.
Are you guys going to participate? Did you reach out to Greg about
it?
Did.
Sure
yes.
did. Yes, we're stoked.
Good.
We'll have to have you out to come Sporting Clays and bird hunting with us here in South Dakota.
I want to come bird hunt out there so bad. Like, I hear that is the spot to do it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm bringing shotguns. Let's go.
With the winter we didn't have this year, and a spring that's starting to look favorable for the nesting season, we could have a good crop here, or good pheasant season for the next couple of years, as long as
everything works.
We're getting into that 7-year cycle where the winters are mild, and they're gonna survive the winters. They're gonna have those big heavy spring storms that knock them out. I think over the next 3 to 5 years we could be back to that super heavy pheasant load, as opposed to the last few years have been down, where we've had the winters that killed.
Yeah, a light load for our area is like 300 birds per square mile.
Wow, I have no context. The only bird hunting I've done was some duck hunting down in Texas, or like a stocked hunt in Wisconsin. So like, I have no idea how many birds is realistic. No clue. But I do know that I can shoot the hell of a shotgun. So that part I got covered. So what time of year is pheasant season?
October through January.
Mid-October through, so the week starts the weekend after Columbus
the public
Day, Native American Day is when the public opens up.
Okay.
Through the end of January. The
preserves are September 1st through March 31st
for all the released birds.
So we absolutely have to make that happen.
Oh, we can make that happen.
We absolutely have to do that. I don't even care. Like, I'm at a point now where I don't even care if we film it, make a thing out of it. I just want to come do it. I think it'd be so much fun.
Yeah, and we have the guys who do our state Sporting Clays event are about 15 miles from us, and good friends of ours.
Hey, did they ever finish that range out near you?
They are done. They're completing the South Dakota Shooting Sports Complex, and it will be the very first event is an area.
Is the USPSA Area 3
okay
match?
Area 3 match is the very first event, And yeah, that place is insane. It's going to have like 1,500-meter shooting bays. There's
the one that I want to go out there and try. That's at our 3-gun match last year. I was talking to one of the guys from out there. They have this thing called bunker clays.
You're a bunker clay. Got him.
It's just like they said, they just start throwing and you basically just shoot a box of shells. Like, I want to go try
a flurry over the top of you.
Yeah, he made it sound like it was crazy and a blast. So
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, they've got some clay stuff set up there. They've got bays and
because they have 3 different. They have 2 skeet ranges, a 5-stand range, a sporting clays, and then like 14 bays.
And this is all at one facility.
Yeah.
I mean, you showed it to me, and I was like, "This is like Candyland."
Here's one better for you.
It's
free.
Yeah.
What?
It's the state of South Dakota put it out.
GFP
built
the GFP
built it for our citizenry to use.
I need to
have. It's like a small. It's like
out there or something.
It's a small little version, basically, of Ben Avery. Like, they've got everything.
Yeah, that's what they were trying to like. They're legitimately building a Ben Avery, a Heartland shooting park area in South Dakota to draw people in.
Right, because there is nothing out there. To be fair,
we got Mount Rushmore and land.
Yeah,
right. Got
Mount Rushmore and other dirt. Different
some mountains that they carved into in a river. That
and we've got river pheasants and we've got some caves, but other than that, it's
That's fair. Well, that's cool, man. I'm really excited for you guys to make it out to Ohio this year. I think this year is going to be really a lot of fun seeing all those new faces, because there's a lot of new creators and brands too.
Yep.
We didn't even talk about all the, like, which brands. I don't want to waste everybody's time with the list. You can go to guncon.net, and if you want to get a ticket, that would be awesome. I would love to see you there. But the brands are listed there. All the panelists are listed. We have over 160, almost 170 content creators signed up to be there this year, which is really cool. And
you'll see us roaming around,
or at least hear Dooley. I mean, you'll hear him probably before.
You'll hear him. I mean, you'll probably see him, in a some kind of goofy Hawaiian shirt and a cowboy hat.
That is correct. That's kind of my style when I'm there.
It's true. It's true.
So you have to stick to the brand. But
I appreciate it.
Well, it makes it easy because you make, there he is. You can yell at that one.
Yeah. See that giant guy over there? The loud one? The loud one next to the other loud one.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So John, before we quit, I know that guncon.net is where they can find the GunCon stuff. Anything else you want to say before we sign off for the night?
Thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to talk to the audience here. It's not every day that we get to do something like this. I'm not some big corporation, and I would love to have your support in growing GunCon. Everybody out there listening, watching, whatever, I would love to see you there.
I do have one question for you, John.
I have one answer.
Hanging out with Dooley and Garth and trying to, while we were waiting to see where GunCon was going to end up this year, are you planning to make Cleveland like a permanent home for it, or is there the chance that it'll jump around? Because certain people, like, only go to stuff when it lands close to them.
Yeah, those people are morons. But no, I don't know that it'll, like, there is no such thing as permanent these days in my mind. I really like that northeast corner of Ohio. I think it's really accessible to the East Coast, and it took me a long time to find a range. However, that doesn't mean that it will be there forever. There is no permanent in my mind. That also doesn't mean that we won't eventually, in a few years, have more than one a year. That's in the future. However, in order to get there, we got to have people out to Cleveland this year to be able to continue doing it.
So you hear that, everybody? Live on the show, they're planning on multiple events coming up. We broke that news.
I did not say that at all. You can go fuck yourself.
Oh, Yes, you see, and that's how you do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I also, if Gideon's still on here, I have a bone to pick with them. I'm seeing all these people getting new optics to test out, and we didn't get ours. Did you get yours?
I got a box of a few of them today, actually.
Ours must have got lost in the mail.
I got lost.
Yeah, that'll happen. Your box came to my house.
Probably. But well, guys, I thank you so much, John, for coming on to talk to everybody on this special about GunCon. Everybody will be back at our regular same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. And where we'll have Otis on to talk about some new gun cleaning stuff. And guys, everyone out there, make sure you go check this out. Check out what we're doing. Check out GunCon. Check out what John's doing. We'll be back tomorrow with our regular show. And everyone out there, you stay safe and stay armed.